Good game, man. Hey guys, this is Matthias, and this is going to be my first Battle Royale tutorial. I decided to make this a beginner's guide, so for the ones of you who already have more than 10 Battle Royale wins or several hundred hours into this game, this video isn't really meant for you, but I highly value your feedback anyway, especially if you have something to add to the video that you would like to share with the community. Now, Battle Royale is kind of like a death match, but, well, not really. The last man standing is the winner. The matches on the highest pop server starts off with about 150 players, I believe, at least at this point in time. Now, there is a first person only mode, as well as this one called regular, where you can switch between first and third person. Now, there might be some varieties to Battle Royale coming in the future. Now, as the game progresses, more and more of the map is covered with this toxic gas. Now, the only area that will be free from the gas is going to be something called the safe zone. This is a circle that gradually is going to be shrinking, forcing the remaining survivors into the same area of the map and closer together. Now, if you find yourself in the gas like I am, the fastest way to the safe zone will be if you run with the damage being dealt directly behind you. In this case, I would need to go a little bit more to the left, but in this situation that would force me to the road, and I want to stay away from there because it gives me too much of a disadvantage against players that could possibly have cars. Now, if I get the weapons that I want, then I prefer to have one AR-15, which is my main weapon. I have a pistol in order to take out cars, and I have a shotgun for close quarter combat. Now, many times you just have to go with what you can find, but in this match I've been able to find the weapons that I've been looking for. Now, I'm actually hip firing here, and a lot of people will probably react on that. I'm doing that because it allows me to move much more than if I aim down sight, because I'm really worried about snipers in a situation like this when it's such an open area. And I do not really expect to destroy this car anyway, unless these guys actually decide to challenge me, which they will. I also want to point out that I play all the gun game in first person mode, which actually gives me quite a disadvantage. You will benefit a lot from playing this in third person mode actually. I'm just a little bit too conservative for that, at least for the time being. So in this situation, I know these two guys are going to go for me, so I pop two of these first aid kits right away. Now notice how I took out the first guy while aiming down sight and the other guy while hip firing. Now at this point in time I don't want to risk giving you misleading information, so I don't want to give too many advices when it comes to the gun game. But the advice that I do want to give you is to make sure that you learn from a variety of sources. And one of those sources should be an American player, a streamer actually. His name is OPSCT. And there's a couple of different reasons why I recommend him. Not only do I enjoy watching his stream myself, and that he's a very good player with a lot of knowledge about the game, but the main thing that I want to point out about him is that he plays the game very differently from the way I do. And I believe that it's very important to learn from a variety of sources if you're interested in making progress. So as much as stealth is actually a big part of this game, I'm not going to focus all that much on it, but the one very important advice that I want to give you, and this goes both for survival mode and Battle Royale, and that is proning. By default, the key is Z, or Z. Well, it's the key left of X anyway, and it amazes me how even experienced players with hundreds of game time hours still loot while standing up. Now generally I would say this: unless your prone is blocked, or unless you can't reach the loot that you're looking for, you should always prone no matter what when looting. Now I could talk for hours about situations where friends of mine have been killed only for the purpose of looting while standing up or crouching. Now, prone isn't going to save you in every situation, but it's one key strike. That's all it is. Now imagine if that player had watched this tutorial before this match. When are people going to learn to lay down when they are? So now when you join a Battle Royale match, the first thing you will get to is this lobby. And here you can start getting prepared. Now I would suggest that you drop your flashlight and you drop your binocular the way I did. I don't even know why they give us this to begin with. Next, you want to unpack your gauze, and you want to get rid of your flare. Now, dropping your flare doesn't work at this point in time, so you have to ignite it, which is why you will see a lot of burning flares in the lobby. You have no use for it whatsoever. And again, it's the same mystery why they give us this to begin with. Now, if you have a skin for the t-shirt and for your pants, then this is the time to put it on. I normally rip my t-shirt because you normally get one right away after you land if you survive the first minute. And ripping your t-shirt will give you 4 scraps of cloth, which you can turn into 2 bandages, and they can actually be quite useful. Now both your pants and your t-shirt, once you have it again, will allow you to carry 50 bulk. The belt pouch will allow you to carry 100. And because a biofuel actually bulks exactly 100, I decided to keep my belt pouch clean when I spawn. Now hopefully you will be able to get a waist pack and a backpack right away. It's the 10 military backpack that you want in the beginning. It allows you to carry 1200 bulk. The other ones will allow you to carry 1000. There is a 2000 bulk backpack as well, but that one you'll get from the airdrop or by killing the guy who did so. Next I'm going to show you something that a lot of people have asked me about, and that's what you see me doing here. Moving the, status indicator or whatever you want to call it by using the arrow that comes up when you look at your inventory or when you open your inventory. Now the main reason why I started moving it up a little bit on the screen was because on the lower side, on the right side, is where I get all these messages from Steam, and by now I've turned those pop-up messages off from Steam when people log in or whatever, but I kind of like having it up there a little bit higher. So now moving on with the inventory, it is very important that you know where you have your stuff, especially your first aid kits. That was an example of when things worked out really well in my favor. The moment I took damage, I quickly moved to a tree in order to break line of sight of my opponent, opening the inventory by pressing tab, quickly activate a first aid kit, and then immediately closing the inventory by pressing tab again. Yes, closing the inventory by pressing tab again, the very same key that you used when you opened the inventory in the first place. And keep in mind, the moment you have popped that first aid kit, you want to be able to move again immediately should you have to. That's why closing down the inventory as fast as possible is very important. However, if you do move, you will cancel the activation of that first aid kit, so you only move if you have to. Now some of you guys are probably thinking, yes Matti, closing the inventory with tab, not really rocket science, right? Now, the reason why I bring it up is that when I'm watching streams of especially less experienced players, they do this all the time. They move the mouse arrow up to the top right side corner and close it by pressing, this red square up there. And in a lot of situations, of course, it doesn't matter at all. But once you start getting up there among the top 15, top 10 players, and people start shooting at you, you really don't want to waste more time in the inventory than you absolutely need to. Also keep in mind that if you do well and you stay alive for a while, you might actually clog up your inventory with stuff that you don't really need or too much of something. And if you have the time, make sure to get rid of something because, let's say you kill a guy, he has about 15 med kits and you can't pick them up because you're carrying around about 500 AR rounds for no reason. And most likely will you not want to sort that inventory out at the very time when you're looting. Because looting is something you want to do quickly, since all experienced players knows that when you are looting is when you are most vulnerable and easiest to kill. Now there's a lot more things that I could have talked about in a beginner's guide for Battle Royale. Using cars, using stealth, being sneaky, trying to avoid players, camping, looting, loot places, teaming, airdrops, different combat situations and how to approach enemies in certain situations, but I'm just going to have to follow this video up with a few later uploads. Lately I've also started practicing my third person shooting a little bit, and it's kind of disturbing almost, I have to say, the amount of advantages you get from playing this game in third person view. I'll be honest, I'm not too happy about it, and I really hope that the first person shooter view gets a little bit of love, hopefully sooner than later.
Am I hitting you at all?
Yeah,
you're hitting me a lot more than I hit you.
I always get bleeding. I never go in. I never go low. I never lose like health really. So it's never like 2 shots. That was 1 hit. That was another hit. Now, one of the things that I think H1Z1 is missing is a training area, something similar to the virtual reality area that you have in Planetside 2. And this is why me and some of the mates that I play with, if we team up and win a Battle Royale, we use the last time to actually practice a little bit of new stuff. And here I'll show the 2 times when I've tried aiming down sight in third person view. Now, we did a similar test before these 2 rounds that I'm showing you here, but in that test I was hip firing, I wasn't aiming down sight, and it failed miserably. Maybe I'll get into third-person shooting, but I really don't enjoy playing the game this way, I have to say. So hopefully something will be done in the future in order to even things out a little bit. Oh! I did hit you.
Yes, you did.
All right.
No, that's I was already pretty low, but that was a headshot.
Oh, okay. The last one was a headshot, you mean?
Yeah, because I was at 50% and you killed me with one shot.
So yeah, that'll be all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope it was helpful, and I will be looking forward to your feedback. So yeah, thanks for watching.